Good morning, my name's George Emsden. In business I'm known as the Cancer IFA, but this particular video is about the day I found out that I had cancer, which was back in April 2007. It had all started off quite insignificantly. I developed a sore throat. Now this sore throat occurred after an almighty shock, something really unexpected in my life, where I felt I had the rug pulled out from under me, and this was after a divorce, moving house, business not being good, and so on. Anyway, my voice went gravelly for a while, a bit like it is now, but we'll leave that till later. The voice went gravelly, and I had some holiday planned coming up. I went for a month to Thailand, and I saw some friends I hadn't seen for a very long time, had a wonderful break. Anyway, I come back from Thailand to the cold United Kingdom, and the throat doesn't get any better. I take some more time off work and it still doesn't get any better. Finally, after months of nagging from friends and family, I go down to see my GP, my local doctor, who books me to the ear, nose and throat hospital straight away. I go there and they do a voice box examination with something called a nasendoscope. I call it the worm. They shove this thing up one of your nostrils, it goes down back into your voice box, and they have a look round and they ask you to say sounds like ooh and ah and so on, and then they pull the whole long thing out and write a report. In my case, the report was that the vocal cords were a bit swollen, as they put it. Can you come in for a biopsy? Which I did 2 weeks later. This was on the 5th of April 2007, normally a very busy day for financial advisors, but I kept my diary clear that day. My daughter came with me to the hospital. I got changed into the smock, and they put this catheter in the back of my wrist for the anaesthetic to go in, and I remember the liquid being rather cold. Anyway, I'm lying back on the gurney or the trailer, and they say to me, we're going to give you some oxygen. So I take a breath of oxygen. Now, I used to fly gliders, and I've flown quite high and above 12,000 feet. The oxygen, I know what oxygen tastes like, so I have a sniff of this oxygen, and it's rather funny oxygen. Have another one, and I'm not really sure this is oxygen, but by the time you've had the third one, you're dead to the world. It seems like I woke up a couple of minutes later thinking, oh, I'm just about to go in, but of course I've been in, and now I've been revived and I'm coming out. Before I was sent in, I was told, Mr. Emsden, we're only going to do one teeny weeny little sample to see if it's okay or not. As it happens, they took 3 samples, greedy so-and-sos, they took 3 samples, bits out of my vocal cords, sent them off to the path lab, and 2 of them were invasive, as the doctor described it. I was given the diagnosis the day I actually got, I was told I got cancer about 2 weeks later at the same hospital. I'm ushered into the doctor's office and the doctor's on the phone. On the side wall, a nurse comes in, and she's folding her arms, and she's looking at her fingernails, and she's looking round up at the ceiling, trying to pretend I won't notice her or that she's invisible. Anyway, the doctor puts down the phone, and he turns around to me and says, right then, Mr. Emsden, squamous cell carcinoma. Carcinoma. Oh, you mean cancer? Yes, it's in the vocal cords. And regarding survivability, about 90% within 5 years. I must have misheard something. I said, do you mean there's a 90% chance I'll be dead after 5 years? Oh, no. It's 90% chance you'll still be alive after 5 years. Now, I'm a financial advisor. I deal with life insurance, and I was 57 at the time. Now, if you're 57 and then the 90% chance of being alive at age 62 is fairly close. to the standard mortality tables, so I thought, oh well, that's not so bad. And I probably mentioned that I had a little voice in the back of my head saying that it might be cancer after all, since my mother had had it. She died when I was 19. Parents, well, dad had had it, cousins have had it, clients and the family have had it, so I've got quite a cancer family history. Anyway, I didn't collapse in a heap of blubber on the floor. I seemed to take it quite well, so the nurse takes one look at the doctor and wanders out the door. Now, I asked him, at this point, well, okay, what are the options? And he said, well, there's two. There's the quick fix, if you like, that's the surgery option. You go into hospital one day, snip it out, and out you go home the next day. And then there's the longer-term radiotherapy option, which they sort of steer you towards, and which I was quite happy to go along with. Cut a long story short, I had 6.5 weeks of radiotherapy, and my latest business is actually called Cancer IFA. For those of you in America, IFA is Independent Financial Advisor, or brokers as you sometimes call them there, and my work these days is giving advice to clients of financial advisors or brokers whose clients have cancer or who are terminally ill and maybe don't have long to live. So that was me. The day I found out I got cancer, it wasn't such a shock, as I suppose there was a little warning voice in the back of my head telling me that it might be that. Anyway, I hope you find it helpful. I've written up my cancer journey through my treatment and afterwards in quite grisly details, sometimes on my blog, georgeemsden.co.uk. I hope you enjoy reading them, and if you want to email me or contact me on Skype, I'd be very happy to talk to you guys. And to those that the day I found out, thank you very much for asking me.